All right, hey everyone, it's blockchain gaming news time again. Uh, we have a lot of updates. We're gonna have to start doing this more frequently. Uh, it's here again with me, Andrew Wagner, and Alex Sockheld, Doge Preacher on Twitter. Um, we have a lot of new growth in the blockchain gaming scene. I guess first we're gonna mention some of the stuff that we've been doing. Our meetup. Our last meetup was pretty fun. We had we had a show and tell. We basically just decided to show off as many of the blockchain games as we could. Basically, our idea was, if we're going to have blockchain gaming meetups, we should really be playing games. That's what real, like, when you go to a regular gaming meetup, which I've done for Pokemon pretty much, I needed to trade back and forth, you know what I'm talking about, to evolve my character. And really, they meet up at, like, places with their Game Boys and they play. So we tried to kind of gear towards that, and we showed off some games, which was a kind of break from our usual thing of having someone fly or drive in and from a project, and we just talk about a game.
Yeah, it's. I think for doing stuff like that in the future too, it's going to be nice. We're thinking about getting a couple more computers set up at the Hackspace because one of our returning members is he's been busting out the Counter-Strike Global Offensive, and he's like, "Man, I wish we had more computers." And I was like, "Well, we got them around, so we might as well get a couple more set up, and then we can kind of convert that. So when we have our meetups, there'll be extra computers around, like in the front room. Because right now, like we only got the one. It kind of does everything." But there is plans to set up a couple more. So in our future show and tells, we can set up a few accounts on these things and get going. What I really liked about our show and tell is it was a lot of first impressions, even for us. Like there's so many games out there that even like I got my first impression on a couple that had skimmed by me. Like there's only so much time to play everything. So it was nice to get to see how these the fresh ones are like. Okay, how do you treat new players? Like what's the onboarding?
Yeah, it's good that we're getting towards that. Although for our next meetup, we're going back to having a guest again. The guy we're having this time, we've had him before, but for a different blockchain game. This one is Hash Kings from Can Curate. I don't know if you guys have seen this game, but he kind of hangs out in our Facebook group, and he's kind of generous with the giveaways. Like if you hang out in their Discord, you might get some free land. I think we've mentioned how their game works before. Get land, grow strains, controlling land in the right places can let you control strains. So we're going to have him come for our next meetup at the beginning of March. That should be interesting because it kind of merges blockchain gaming stuff with cannabis stuff.
Well, if you remember at the beginning of the whole, what we'll call the shitcoin phase, is there was a lot of weed coins for like no reason, like before the whole when legalization was still happening in a couple states and locally here in Canada, there was like this craze of like anything with a 3-letter ticker that could be made into like POT, THC, HMP. Like there was a weed coin for everything. So it's like there's always people have always tried to, for whatever reason, cross over the two. So now we're seeing like a series of games come around. People are like, oh, weed on the blockchain. It's just it's like a clock radio, right? You got to try and combine things until you find a good combo that works. And once you do find a combo that works, it becomes standard. So, these type of games, they're always more attractive to people who are like, ooh, they're like just a little bit edgy, but not really, it's pretty culturally okay, but it's like still like a little bit edgy. And like, that's always going to attract more people in like a game, right?
Yeah, and stoners can make good gamers. There must be some overlap there, especially in the tech world. Anyway, it should be interesting to have that merger. It'll be definitely a bit more stonery than our usual meetups, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Every now and then. Every now and then we have a more fun one.
I guess we're skipping around a bit, but while we're talking about events, we could mention CoinFest coming up.
Yeah, real soon. I heard someone's getting married at CoinFest on the blockchain.
Yeah? I am, and I've confirmed Witek from EnjinCoin is still planning to do so as well.
Yeah, I talked to him when I was visiting Chelsea in New York. Is that he said he was down for sure when we mentioned it. So that's at least 2 marriages, and I will have the honor of performing those marriages. So
That's cool. And we have two blockchain gaming marriages from blockchain gaming guys. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's awesome. Are you gonna be? It's gonna be live streamed. Is that in the
should
plan?
it be?
It's your
Probably.
wedding.
We'll talk about that. But more interesting for this broadcast is the gaming event we're planning. So I've got booked another space. Uh, that'll be the same weekend, and we're going to make a blockchain gaming themed event for everyone. My biggest fear, because we want to have these conferences regularly down the road as blockchain gaming grows, but they can't all be like CoinFest. CoinFest is pretty generous to them. We're giving them a pretty good deal on a booth and a sponsor because CoinFest is run by volunteers, so I don't really take much kickback, right? So they're not going to get like these kinds of deals frequently. I don't want to spoil them basically, but
Yeah,
CoinFest is celebratory once a year. It's fun for everyone, so
right.
everyone's getting special perks when they come. We'll get a booth, speaking slots for blockchain gaming projects. Um, we're going to announce some cool stuff on our end, and yeah, just try to build a cool community event. We encourage you all to come
Yeah,
attend.
I think people that don't know about CoinFest should know it's one of the oldest repeated conventions in the world. It's global. It's like the first decentralized convention. It was created by you about what, like 6 years ago now. This is the sixth year or the fifth year.
I guess sixth,
Yeah,
technically.
technically sixth, and it's spread to a lot of countries. So, like, how many? What's the country total over the years?
Oh, I've lost track, honestly.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's a good sign.
this year it's going to be heavy, and obviously Manchester and Vancouver are usually some of the biggest. They go hard in Manchester. They just get drunk the whole time, like 200 of them, talking about shit coins and being wasted. Uh, and then it's kind of nice, we have events across Africa. And because of CoinFest's nonprofit orientation and decentralized nature, when you sponsor CoinFest Global, we just set it up in grant funding to local organizers who need it around the world. So you'll kind of see CoinFest Ghana, Nigeria, Botswana, Sierra Leone. It's kind of cool. We'll try to get a global sponsor, and then you'll see your logo up in all these African countries. And it's good PR, right? Look at you helping make this free event happen in countries across Africa. And it's
Yeah,
cost effective.
yeah, and it's like you said, super cheap compared to most sponsorship opportunities. Like people come, you know, people charge a lot for these sponsorship opportunities. A lot of times, too much. So it's good to be
Yeah.
able to do a nice deal for like a booth and a booth and a speaking role at like a real community event that's grown into a global community event. Like everyone's so thirsty. And CoinFest, I think nice mentioned it's always free, right?
Yep.
And
But
and
you know,
only
it's
hosted at places that accept Bitcoin.
yes. I mean, our design is to be efficient at spreading crypto adoption, right? And some, like you said, places that accept it, that incentivizes crypto adoption. But also, you'll find, right, when you have events across the developing world, you get way more bang for your buck as a sponsor. Like if you give away $1 worth of crypto, that's way more exciting in Botswana than it is in Vancouver. Okay, like
That's
we
so many
can,
Doge.
yeah, you can really make a huge impact on these communities, actually, and people we have last year, and hopefully this year too. Um, but yeah, join us. Let's see what other news we've been skipping around. Should we get the Reddit mention out of the way?
Oh, okay. I didn't see where that was.
They can find it. Everyone knows about Reddit, but now we've partnered with experienced Redditor who had the blockchain gaming subreddit. So yeah, r/blockchain gaming. Um, Same concept and rules as our Facebook and other social media groups. We encourage everyone to share their content, their articles, their new game projects, just like any other subreddit. We're trying to spread the word about blockchain gaming through it. Um, Upvotes from us and hopefully each other. You know how it works.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I just found it. Yeah, it'd be nice to get some more activity in there. It's hard to revive, or it's hard to get a subreddit going. But like once you get it moving and get a few people consistently posting, you know, it like comes around fast.
Well, we went from 4 to 10 subscribers when we took it over. Um, but yeah, still growing, and we're trying to link all of our community platforms together and build a kind of cohesive community. We just encourage you all to go upvote and post your stuff, and maybe we can spread our message to the wider Reddit community.
Yeah, it's actually there's 6 people here right now, so someone must be clicking. Someone must have just clicked through to find it, and then 3 of those people clicked away because now there's only 3 people here.
Yeah. Well, it'll get going eventually, but I think it's a good addition to keep building all these platforms, and we'll announce new social media platforms soon. We just
Yeah,
have.
if you're not someone who likes Reddit and you want to actually still participate in a forum style discussion, like we have our own forum at blockchaingaming.com, and that's probably if you're into the old school style gaming forums and not like the more fast paced potential of like a Reddit that like everything's old news tomorrow, and you want to actually participate in some longer forum post discussions, yeah, definitely head over to the blockchaingaming.com and check out the forum, sign up.
I guess, yeah, our website's being updated too. Another news update. And then we'll start talking about the games that have been coming out. But you may notice we are now SSL certified on our homepage. Yay. And the forum pretty much is, except for one image on the forum, which your credentials are fine. Basically, we're pretty good to go. So you don't have to worry about man-in-the-middle attacks when going to our site now.
And that's
Also,
something that all blockchain related sites really need to be, extra attentive to, is like protecting users.
yeah. I mean, until now, we didn't have anything to protect, but I guess now a forum has passwords. So that's, I guess, one potential attack vector, trying to get someone's forum password. But going forward, we're now up. You'll see lots more site updates coming out soon, basically. Isaac's been hard at work, and our partner who ran the subreddit is also starting to tinker with the website as well. So lots of news there. But yeah, we've been talking about ourselves for a while.
Yeah, what
Jeez.
about these games, right?
I know, right? Should we just start from the top?
Yeah, let's go down the top. So first we had a few EnjinCoin updates. So
There always are.
I think I can still share screen, even though you're the one. Application window. There we go. Yeah, I'm gonna share, and I need to override the fact that you're still on the screen. I think you might have a setting where you are not letting me overtake the screen.
Oh.
You might have like an always on top mode or something. Are you seeing my screen?
I was.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm trying to find the always share button. The always share button. I think it'll only work when I'm talking. So
Oops.
that's okay. Yeah. So if it ends up getting out of the way or it doesn't line up, just tell me. So yeah. So the Enjin wallet, they're doing a token swap soon. So you're going to be able to do basically all ERC20s, it looks like, because Enjin wallet, for people that don't know, is like, it's got a gaming focus, but it's also like an overall crypto wallet. I believe they currently or in the future will also even be able to hold Bitcoin, which is like not something usually goes in that direction. Usually, a multi-wallet will start with Bitcoin and add everything else, including ERC20s. But in the case of Enjin, it's started out mainly as like a Ethereum gaming wallet, with the intention of like interacting with their gaming platform. And now I believe they're adding Bitcoin as well as like the ability to hold all the other ERC20 tokens. Yeah, so they're basically teaming up with multiple of the auto swap tools. So you can you'll be able to use like basically Changelly, Bancor, Kyber, and you'll be able to auto swap between any of the tokens that they offer. EOS tokens, Ethereum tokens. I'm assuming Tron tokens too, if there is any.
Yeah, one particularly newsworthy thing about this is actually it's already being used by blockchain gaming developers by necessity. What I mean actually is people having to switch from Counterparty because there's so much support in the ETH community that some devs who started on Counterparty are finding the need to swap. One, I think Age of Rust just did that through this. Age of Rust has used this already, or will.
Oh, and it's heading over from Counterparty to Engine. Yeah, Counterparty, it's too bad it never took off. I mean, Bitcoin, in general, we've always been against, it's all about minimizing chain size and stuff. So, like, there's a lot of people that are like, don't use the op return code that lets you store data on the Bitcoin blockchain. And they, like, really limit that. So, like, Ethereum, for people who don't know, was originally, like, going to be, like, a Bitcoin add-on, like, way back in the day. But it didn't go that way because, Bitcoin... developers were like, hey, you can't just store all your crazy data on this blockchain. Like, we got to finish building it first. So, because of those limits, like, that's why so many other chains started to come up.
Yeah.
And then, that's part of the problem Counterparty had, is that, like, it never really took off. I think it might have been too early, and, like, as much as I hate on Ethereum's 15-second block times because they're way too short, for things like smart contracts and gaming and, stuff like that, it really does make sense to have a much faster block time. I still think 15
I think a real killer has been... Oh, sorry, my sound seemed messed up for a second. I think the real killer has been exchange support, actually. Like, a lot of exchanges told them they won't list your Counterparty token, but they will list your ERC20 token.
Oh, is there no standards like the same on Counterparty, right?
There are some, but Ethereum's are easier to work with, I think.
Yeah, you add one Ethereum token, you add them all, right?
Kinda. I mean, Counterparty should be like that to a degree, but the reality has shown more support, community support for Ethereum development.
Yeah, Ethereum development's just kind of taken off. It still is. I mean, ETH Denver is going on right now. There's, but at the same time, like, Ether's got its own problems to solve.
Anyway, there was some other cool engine news. That MFT drop, like, I hadn't heard about that much. It's like a founder's token, like...
let me bring up the page. Yeah, it's for 9 Lives Arena.
Yeah, the founder's token I don't think is specific only to 9 Lives Arena. They're just one of the first engine projects to be doing it. But it's like a thing that I think exists across the EnjinCoin platform. You'll check it out now, I guess.
Yeah, I got it up on my screen. Is it the what do they call it? MFT? A multiverse fungible token?
Mm-hmm.
MFT? Yeah, so they've been pushing this idea for a little while of, like, intentionally letting games cross over. So one of the things is, that we've always talked about blockchain gaming when it was first developing as an industry is that, these tokens will be used in multiple games. But the reality is, like, giving someone else's token value in your game, like, in some ways it brings their community with them, but in other ways it can take away what you could have sold them the same item. So it's nice to see that what the Engine people have been doing, not just the Engine people, but people working on the Engine platform, has gone out of their way to say, okay, let's make sure all our items do something in someone else's game, and, like, show why this is good and how it's going to be just the way it is in the future. So once we get used to doing it, game companies will be like, well, of course I need to allow other people's tokens to work in my game, because that will bring the community over. That's kind of the way the Team Just games work, is that, like, if you build a game based around divs, you can just incorporate their backend system. And if you do that, like, the public idea behind that is, like, by doing that, you gain their community. Like, you gain their community now has, like, a reason to play your game, because it also helps them. And you're only giving away, like, 1% of what your game brings in. So, like, instead of that 1% going to you as a dev, that 1% basically just gets dispersed to a gaming community. And then they have, like, a reason to play. So by selling people a token that they know, like, okay, well, sure, this is your game, but this token's going to work in, like, 4 other games as well at a minimum, like, that gives people a little more inspiration, and then it kind of brings everyone up, and it makes it hopefully not as zero sum as it was before. You are silent. I don't know if you're talking or not.
Yeah, I had myself muted to not interrupt your screen share.
Okay.
But yeah, people have been talking about that for a while, you're right. But now Engine's implementing it hardcore on their platform. They also, so one more Engine news, AlterVerse. I keep seeing people posting stuff about AlterVerse in our Facebook group. And this looks like, what Alex, I think this might be what Alex would call a JPEG offering, an
Yeah,
initial asset offering.
yeah. The initial asset offering is when you buy this I am screen sharing. So like this XR75 Maverick, you can own a picture of that, and only 6 of those pictures will ever exist.
But, one day you can play in the game with it. Or maybe
Hopefully.
soon. I don't know enough about this game, actually. But
Yeah, I think it's a lot of the cases like Crypto Fights or Nine Lives Arena. I think they're similar games. Yeah, Nine Lives Arena was the one that like I had. I give them little jokes about them in the beginning and stuff, but they've consistently developed. So like, as much as I like rag on these games that sell JPEGs before a game exists, the reality is like it's a new funding model that like people can access, and these games like, some of them will come to exist, and some of them will be good. And those ones would have never existed if this wasn't an option as a funding model.
are those really the graphics for Nine Lives?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like it's like a proper professionally made game.
Nice. Well, we're seeing more of that. We got some interesting news on our list from more mainstream efforts, but we'll just keep going straight down. Have you heard of Axie Infinity?
Yeah. Axie's been around for a long time. Stop sharing and pull it the page. Axie's definitely been around for a long time, and I didn't have a lot of faith in the beginning because I believe it's an experience-based system where you got to grind your Axies up. Am I not sharing because I need to type in? MetaMask changed again. I hate when they do that.
And now they're having some kind of land sale, or were they always? I don't know. I saw someone posting about that as well.
Hold on, I'm busy being angry at MetaMask.
Oh,
Yeah.
note to you all, guys. I do collect our news subjects for this broadcast from our Facebook group. It's this one someone posted as well. Apparently, land sale for Axie Infinity.
Oh man, I'm gonna shit talk MetaMask on Twitter after we're done because I hate when they had this like beta version that like wasn't as good and like hid more information from the user, like to try and make it more quote unquote noob friendly, I guess. The reality is like their new beta version was inferior to their old one, and it just like auto upgraded me again. And I don't ever want to open a crypto wallet and have it look differently than when I closed it. This is like just a bad.
Do you need MetaMask for Axie Infinity? Is that why you're tinkering with it?
Yeah, I was gonna load it out. A lot of the games, when you go to their website, if you don't have the wallet open, it won't actually load the game properly.
Yeah.
Oh my god, did they remove the ability to change to the old version of MetaMask? Oh man, they're gonna get so yelled at on Twitter for this. See, show advanced gas controls, like, ugh. You should never hide the gas controls. Like, okay, we'll do. I'll finish getting. If you want to see me yell at MetaMask on Twitter, you can follow me after this because what are you doing? This is like just as bad as that MetaMask.
Doge preacher.
Yeah, MetaMask doesn't show you the full address of your own address, and you cannot access it unless you copy it to clipboard. And that is just like the dumbest feature that in blockchain. Like I don't know how MetaMask became the standard wallet when they don't even show you your whole address. And then
ease of use? I don't know.
Ease of use, yeah. They try and noobify it, but all they did is, ugh.
Anyway,
no good. No, you shouldn't change a crypto wallet without your users watching that change happen. No one should log into their crypto wallet and have it look different than it did the day before. There is like money floating around here, people.
So wait, should we just skip Axie Infinity for now?
No, it's okay. I mean, my knowledge of Axie's land sale is not I don't know how the land sale works. I do know that like different types of land make for different battles, I believe. And my problem has always been the experience gaining aspect of it, and of a lot of games just become like gas equals experience. So however much you're willing to pay for something is like.
Maybe I can screen share. My MetaMask works.
Okay.
Let me try this.
Oh no, mine works. I'm just mad at it.
Oh, okay. We'll show it off then.
Oh, I didn't realize I wasn't screen sharing. I'm used to being in the driver's seat. There we go. Yeah, I'm used to being in the driver's seat. So here we go. Axie Infinity. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. This is their purchase screen. I'm logged in. I don't know how easy it is to get into a game. I didn't buy like a team, and the problem is like I didn't participate in the IJO and buy my Axies before everyone. And then when they released the game, they basically sold weaker ones for the same price, and that's how kind of a lot of them have to encourage early users to build or to buy in. Is like, look, if you buy in now, you're going to have a more powerful character, but that does not help long term balance. But Axie has definitely like picked up a community and and picked up and they've kept their community around. Like they've built it, and community is probably the most important part of any of these games. Like you live and die by your community. No one's talking to each other about the game. New people are going to have no one to talk to.
So if I'm getting the sense of this right, they're selling land on which Axies live and grow and fight. You can develop that land, like.
Yeah, different land will have different effect on, I believe, on the battles. So, like, if
like
you
a dungeon master.
Yeah, it's like you own the land that gets fought on, and I believe other people should be able to fight on it. And then, if they want to come to your land because your land gives, well, let's say, snow bonuses versus desert bonuses, right? Certain people are going to want to do battles on your piece of land, and then the map of the world kind of becomes player owned. I know I've seen a couple other games going down that route. So the map is player owned, and the advantage of picking a different spot on the map gives something to that player, whoever owns it. In this case, like the fee to fight on someone's land might be higher, but that land might give your dudes a specific advantage for leveling up. So maybe you want to keep your guys there and level up, but maybe this guy knows how good his land is, so he's going to charge you more.
Yeah. Mild skipping around here on the next one. I just realized we have two somewhat related topics. The Moonify guys, they're at like every single blockchain gaming conference.
Moonify.
Yeah, I saw them at the last one I was at in France, and at every conference they go around to, you see them participating. So they're just partnering with lots of people. Like, it allows you to mine. I'm still have questions about this platform. I mean, I guess it allows you to mine for coins using spare power, but is that really blockchain gaming centric, or could we not do that with any coin?
It seems like, okay, so there are little what we do things as enabling game studios to convert their in-game assets into digital tokens that can then be sold outside the games. But I mean, so it seems like these guys are going to be targeting more traditional gaming studios and being like, look, it's so easy to just add, you can make your things tokens.
Yeah. So I guess they have a multi-pronged approach here, and one for onboarding traditional devs, and one is a partnership model with blockchain game devs. One, they've just done something with Spells of Genesis. That's kind of interesting. I play Spells of Genesis a lot, as you'll see on our show and tell meetup. But there's another Spells of Genesis news on this list that's kind of sad, which is that development of the game has been postponed.
Oh no.
Which is basically the bear market, and it's hurting their funds, and they're pivoting more towards onboarding traditional devs than creating games themselves. But the game still exists on the stores, and they're continuing to support it fully. They're just not going to be adding new levels or anything indefinitely.
Oh,
Sad.
that's not good.
Yeah.
The bear needs to feed, man. People don't realize the bear is hungry and the bear's not full.
Yeah.
The bear needs to feed. We've seen a lot of coins go down. We've seen exchanges go down. We've seen dev teams shrink like crazy. Delistings are starting to happen. Like this is just for people who are like holding out hope. Like you have to stop holding out hope before it can go back the other direction. Like you all have to give up. That's when we go up again. Like there's too much hope still around. I feel like that's just the one thing that needs to go away before we can the market can get back to fun times, and it'll be fun again. Don't worry, but it's not just going to happen overnight.
Yeah, let's talk about a funner news. Funner,
Yay.
More fun, whatever.
No, funner is the word.
Funner.
I understood it, and I've said that since I was a kid. When teachers would correct me, is funner counts is a word because everyone knows what you mean. It means more fun. It's very clear.
Skip down to Mythical Games. That's super positive news.
Mythical Games.
Bolded on the list near the bottom. Mythical Games is one of the ones uh, bringing blockchain games to consoles.
Oh, nice, nice. Yeah, we've talked about a couple of these guys before. It's a tough. It's going to be tough to see how they pull it off and like what they can get away with in these couple systems that are allowing them. So something like Nintendo and like even using Apple as an example. Like a lot of the problems that these games ran into with Apple is that the monetization model is like if money's going to transact in your game, like we get a huge cut, and like that just wouldn't fly in a blockchain game. So it's going to be interesting to see how like Xbox, PlayStation, specifically Nintendo, handles third party value transfer on their closed system.
Yeah. It's starting to happen. Cooking Mama is about to be blockchainized on the Switch and the PlayStation.
Oh,
Never heard of that. And
no, but I'm happy that it's happening.
Google it, you'll find out. And these Mythical Games guys have other plans. They just raised a bunch of VC money because their team includes people from like Rockstar and Nintendo and like major. They know what they're doing basically.
Yeah, the
These are
connections matter so much.
these are experienced traditional game devs behind Mythical Games with millions of dollars. I think they're going to succeed in bringing blockchain games to consoles, and there's a couple others, one or two others like them, doing the same thing. Super exciting.
Blankos.
Oh, with this, yeah, they're going to a traditional. They're going to this
South by
SX.
Southwest.
Yeah, it's a pretty major conference, and they're doing just a huge like party of the conference that they're making about blockchain games. So they're really trying to push it to their friends in the traditional gaming industry.
Well, you got to make the switch over eventually, right? Like we can keep building our cool little blockchain stuff, but like if we want everyone to experience this or like have the good parts of it make it out, like someone's got to go and try and bring it onto these legacy systems.
True that. But yeah, good news. Let's back up. Who should we talk about now? How about blockchain and games? Those guys are cool. Been talking to them a lot lately. They'll come to CoinFest with us. Uh, you see them near the top.
Yep.
Blockchain and games news. He is just they've just moved really fast in the blockchain game space, which if you'll recall, that's what EnjinCoin did years ago. They moved really fast, kind of like Microsoft. Let's just put our system out there and just start from scratch right now, full force. And they have some interesting things in the works. Decimated, obviously, everyone's excited about Decimated. That's a pretty good partnership they got with that one. I'm going to mute so you can show it off. It looks like you pulled it up.
Yeah, I got it up. All right. Yeah, they're actually doing they did a pre-sale, then a private sale, and now a public sale. They're percentage based, and I'm not. Oh, there you go. Community size, tokens acquired, and max supply. So based on the number of zeros I'm seeing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 says 10 digits, and this is still only at eight digits. So there's even though the pre-sale and the private sale are done or near done, you can tell like it looks like 95% of the tokens will be done in the public sale. So I was a little worried when I saw that there was a pre-sale, because usually that's how they can give out a lot of tokens. But if you look at the numbers here, like between the pre-sale and the private sale, it's going to be like less than like 6 or 7%, probably 5% of all the tokens are pre and private, and then the rest is public. So that's really good, because a lot of times the numbers are heavily skewed in the other direction. Ethereum, I'm looking at you.
People seemed really excited about this game in our community chat rooms and stuff. I guess because post-apocalyptic is cool. I don't know if it's going on a console or what has everyone so excited. It looked. Can you see any pictures? Like, are there any graphics?
There's a video somewhere, I think. Play video. Let's do it. Let's just give it a quick run through. Did you hear sound?
Kinda. Is it music?
Yeah, there's music in the video. I'll if you're not getting the music, I mean, this is clearly a trailer and not gameplay.
A human citizen was competing for resources and territory.
So it doesn't look like there's any.
Mm.
Yeah, it doesn't
I
look like
think,
there's any in-game footage here, unfortunately.
yeah, and I'm still getting the sense that there's going to be a lot of production value put in this game, at least relatively compared to the standard of blockchain games so far. Um, Maybe that's what has people psyched. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, clearly with the trailer, they put a lot of money into making a nice one.
Um, yeah, and that they already, you can see I even had, there was news about this news. They're doing an airdrop, they're getting an exchange listing. Uh, they are just, yeah, if, I think this is their first. So, if you recall, blockchain and games are making their own games, but they're also trying to get third-party support for the platform on which their games run. And this Decimated is their first critical third-party support. And it's like, I think their only real major third-party support so far, but it's a really popular one. If you want to see some of their other games, they've launched some. They're really into provable fairness, I've found, which is kind of interesting. For those not familiar with the topic of provable fairness, this concept started with casinos back in the day, blockchain casinos, where the idea is we can verify that all of the odds were not rigged, that none of the matches were rigged. And there's so many ways you can do that. Some obvious ones are basing them on block hashes and stuff like that. Um, and originally, that applied mostly to gambling games of chance. And blockchain and games do plan to have a casino as just part of their suite of offerings. But more interesting to me, and we were talking about this on our forum, actually, when they made a thread about their platform. You can also do provable fairness for things like loot rolls. When you, when I used to play WoW, for example, when we defeat a dungeon and collect the loot, we all roll dice to see who gets the best ones. With provable fairness, we can apply, and those situations really bring out the worst in people, let me tell you. After you go through a 3-hour dungeon, you're like, give me the sword, give me the sword. No! These people get mad.
Yeah, because it's like, I've seen that sword drop 5 times. I'm
Yeah.
the tank. People should just let me have it. Like, how come I lose 5 rolls? Like, I need to move on to the next dungeon. Yeah, we've all been there. We've all been there.
We've all been that guy.
Can't help it.
Yeah. But their platform's called the Halo platform, and you'll see them at CoinFest. They seem like cool guys. There have been, generally, I've found some of the people on our list and in our community who will be coming to our event are people on the West Coast and people in North America, because so many of the other blockchain game conferences are all in Europe. So
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to anything over the border. Like, anything over the ocean is so tough. Even, like, planning, we did Dogecoin last summer. It was, like, getting people from Europe to, like, commit to, like, come over for a few days. Like, even if it's, especially if it's shorter, like a shorter conference, like, you can't get people to commit to, like, fly over 2 oceans back and forth for, like, a 1-day conference. Like, you really gotta have it going for a while, and it's really got the value.
Yeah. Oh well, we'll have a fun conference. Who else we got on the list? So many, lots of smaller games to mention now. One I want to talk about: Railroad Simulator, just because that sounds fun to me. Because I'm a dork. I don't know.
Yeah. Here, let me get it up. Oh, it 404'd.
Oh no, it's broken now.
The link at blockchaingamer.biz 404'd. Let me try and pull it up. Maybe it wasn't blockchain enough.
Unrailed.
Is it called Unrailed?
Yeah, that's the name of the game.
That's awesome.
Can't find a website for them.
I will. Yeah,
Oh,
maybe it's already gone. Maybe it's already gone. Unrailed. Did they do a token sale?
well, I found the website for their company, which is, to sum it up, and it's an established game company. They have like a lot of titles, and this is their first entrance in the blockchain space.
Who is it?
Yeah, it's called, I don't know, Daedalic,
Oh,
Daedalic. ALIC Games, Daedalic Entertainment.
Okay, yeah, I see him. More than 70 employees. Oh yeah, okay. Where's the? It's like, but where's the Unrailed, man? We want blockchain railroad simulator games.
Yeah, for real, yo. That's all we care about.
Yeah,
Oh
okay.
well.
They do a lot of titles.
Yeah.
But it's, well, so yeah, that's another example of a more like a more traditional company moving into the blockchain world and seeing like, okay, well, how can we use this? Yeah, these guys make things for everything from PlayStation VR to mobile.
Nice. Another cool, fun little nerdy bit of news. Lightning-enabled chess. You should pull that one up.
Oh, what is it? Just lightning chess dot something?
Kiernan found it, and all of our friends in Vancouver are going to be playing it now. And it's chess on the Lightning Network.
Yeah, is every move a transaction, a single Satoshi or something?
Well, on the Lightning Network, you settle at the end of the game.
Well, or you don't even settle, you just keep going. But
Or just play more games.
see, the problem is with lightning chess is a type of chess that just goes really fast.
We'll show them what it looks like, if you can.
Lightning chess is a standard thing, though. If I don't have, do you have the website on here?
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Oh, that's the worst website name, koalastud.io. No one's gonna find your game by Google.
Kiernan did.
No, there's if you get Blue Wallet, which is the iOS. Yeah, I can't. I don't have a Lightning node running on this computer.
I don't think you need one, or do you?
No, but if you have, you should. If you should have to have an active Lightning wallet. Basically, the Blue Wallet for iOS is custodial, but they have an Lightning, like a LAP browser, like Lightning app. And we're all just sick of crypto naming conventions, but yeah, a Lightning app browser is built into Blue Wallet. So like there's a few little things. Maybe we'll do like a little. I'll prepare a Lightning section for next week and get my node back up and running. We can show off a couple of the games.
Well, when you load the chess game, I just tried it actually. It builds a wallet into the game. You don't have to have a wallet already set up to show it off.
Oh, okay, so just start. Let me get the screen share going then. Here. So just load account. Oh no, create account. Oh, I should have done that. Go back. All right, create account. Success. Your account is ready. Important. Yeah, there's my private key, boys. Use this to load your Quality Studio account for any device.
Rob him.
Yeah, so the idea is that, yeah, you log in with private key. That's pretty cool. I have confirmed it. It's okay. If I ever need to recover this key, I'll just watch the stream again. So from here, new game. Can I start a new game without a Bitcoin deposit? Waiting for an opponent. Yeah, I'm not sure where Lightning comes in. You gonna play against me?
I'm gonna try and join your game.
All right, I'll link it in the chat.
You send me a link?
I'll send it to you in the Slack. There you go. Waiting for my opponent to join.
Let's see if this works.
Yeah, so my balance is 0 Satoshis, but I think it's a case of it's just a custodial wallet. So basically, oh, there you go. All right, let's do this. I'm not playing fast or hard. I'm just going as fast as I can. It's your turn, man.
All right.
Which one's the queen again?
So it's got the timer thing.
Yeah. So I think this is going to be about enough of a game for us to play. I don't think we can sit here for 10 minutes playing.
We won't play the whole game, but let's show off the functions. Apparently there's a wage bet button we can press.
Balance is 0 Satoshis. Go back. Oh, I clicked on my balance. That took me away. You extend time, wage bet. 5 Satoshis. Oh, okay. I see. So you can bet on games. You could up the bet in the middle of a game, so you could like bait your opponent and be like, "Oh, look, it's you're winning. You sure you don't want to up the stakes?" And then really, it's a ploy. Get your hustle on. There's an undo move button. I'm going back. Undo move. 5 Satoshis. Oh, I can pay you to undo my move. If I make a dumb move and like you kind of feel bad for me, I can be like, yo, dude, I'll give you 10 Satoshis. You let me take that back.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, because there's a lot of times in chess where it gets a little hectic, and you're just like, oh, I'm just gonna keep moving pieces as fast as you do. So if you keep moving them, I'll keep moving them.
All right, well, let's keep running through our broadcast list. I
Yeah,
think the rest of this game, it's chess, you guys, but it's on the
it's
blockchain.
chess. Yeah, it's kind of on the blockchain. You're just gambling beside it on the blockchain. All right, I'm gonna stop sharing that. What else we got on our list here?
Oh, now we're going up. There's Crypto Monopoly.
Is that also on Lightning?
No, it's just Crypto Monopoly.
Yeah, and shout
It's
out to
actually,
blockchaingamer.biz because a lot of our news ends up coming from there. These guys are pretty on point.
well, and also, like I said, we collect our news from our community channels, and one of the writers from blockchaingamer.biz posts in our Facebook group.
Oh, well.
If you want your news to be mentioned, do what he does. I'm just posting in the group.
Yeah,
You
post in
increase
the
your
group,
chances.
post in the subreddit, post in the forum, post in the Facebook group. Those would be the three places we pull our extra news from. And then, of course, to encourage you to do that, we'll almost always make sure we talk about them. So,
Yeah, this one was neat. That's not the first crypto monopoly game, because the idea is kind of like, when selling blockchain-based land in games is obviously widely adopted across many games, that concept, because there's a land in Monopoly. It's kind of analogous. Here's another attempt, another recent attempt. Are you pulling it up?
yeah, I keep not sharing properly. Monopoly on the blockchain. That makes it super different. There we go. Yeah, so it's just a quick article, but I don't think there's a site launched yet. I didn't see. Oh, there we go. It's about the VX network is the only site link they have, so that's the company making it. And they said they've done a bunch of different games for various systems. We'll see though. They do Bit Golf, Bit Pet, and we'll see. So yeah, this is this seems like a blockchain game company. Oh, they are not local. They are not local. They are Korean, I want to say. Does that look right? Node brick. Yeah, Bit Pet. So they got a few things: Bit Pet, Bit Golf, and then they're going to have their own wallet that will hold US dollars, Ethereum, and then whatever token this is based off of. Yeah, I wonder if there's no. Oh, I can hit the English site. Yeah, so again, it's like a gaming platform. So it's like another like engine style based thing where they want their own platform. They're going to want to bring in devs. They're a little bit late to the party, but like geographic location can matter a lot. So like, whereas like, a lot of the people around our side of the world have already, engine. Okay, so it's Japan, not Korea. I don't know my characters that well, apparently. But yeah, so it's it seems like they're trying to make a more full platform, like just like Engine. So they're going to have like, regional does matter. So we're going to have other sides of the world. They're going to kind of be going into their native language platforms and then maybe expanding from there. So it'll probably be a few years before we start seeing like, I guess we'd call like the PlayStation versus Xbox console wars, like the blockchain gaming platform wars. Like when EnjinCoin has to fight the VX network or whatnot for a user base. There's just probably more platforms than there is, going to last right now.
Not many more news items left. Zero X Warriors. You ever heard of that one?
Yeah, I actually played. I played Zero X Universe a lot. It was one of my. I like the mechanics behind it. It was like a time-based game where you go searching for a planet every time you build up enough resources. You build up resources over time. The more planets you have, the faster they build. Like there's a bunch of different kinds. And then every time you have enough, you launch a spaceship. There was a few mistakes.
Didn't you show us that game on a previous episode?
I believe I did. There was a few mistakes the developers made, mainly that the price to launch a ship goes up after every launch. So it just encourages you to like ditch your account and send all your planets to a new one. So I have three accounts, and I'd basically just grind an account to death. And then when everything got too expensive to launch, I'd keep like a couple planets there that had the resources I needed, and I'd send all my other planets over to my next account, and then I'd repeat the process. And then it gets to the point where you're like, okay, I need this resource. It's on account 3. I need to send it back to account 2. oh, I need this on this, and it gets kind of like hectic. So like it, I don't know, it just the way the mechanics work. There was a reason for doing it that way, and I get it, but it also like was counterintuitive to like consistent gameplay. But it was too advantageous. Like you literally, it was a direct monetary cost. Like you spent more money if you stayed on one account, and you spend less money if you make multiple. So that I saw as a flaw. With Zero X Warriors, they were making it I believe it's a cross-chain game, Ethereum and EOS. I'm almost 100% sure they
And
got
Tron.
and Tron now. So they got EOS funding. So these are guys. The one thing I have about this is if you're going to make a cross-chain game, the chains work differently, right? So certain chains do things better than others, and certain chains don't want to do things in a certain way.
But they want the dev fund money from both of them.
Yeah. So what you do if you're a game studio, you basically like you make a game on Ether because it's the most, it has the most users and gets popular. Then when it gets popular, you get Tron and EOS like knocking on your door. And there's nothing better for Tron and EOS than making a cross-chain game with Ethereum, which is on a different consensus model, because then it's going to make your system look better. So like when you have a cross-chain game, like EOS and Tron are free transactions. Well, free, quote unquote, right? The cost is dispersed in a different way, whereas Ethereum puts the transactions on the user. So like when your users are paying to play your game on Ethereum, and when you can transfer your assets to a free blockchain and play for free there, you're going to have everyone playing on the free one. And there's really no point in having a cross-chain game other than like trying to convince people who don't know these things that like, oh, this system must be better because it's free to use, when really they're entirely different systems. So like when you have like the same items on two chains, there's no way they can have the same value because moving them around costs a different amount and like using them costs a different amount. So like I think it's pretty disingenuous of a lot of these cross-chain games that are going on like a proof of work system and a proof of stake system and a delegated proof of stake system or something. And it's like, okay, these all have different economic models. They cannot work together. One has an advantage, right? So I feel like it's partially made just to like, I feel like just
I see your point. The market would tend to want the price to diverge of an asset. But based on what you said, it has a different value on one chain versus another's based on the properties of that chain. But they can still set up pegging mechanisms where it's burned on one and like atomic swaps and such. That can
yeah. So it can switch over back and forth. But what you can't do is you can switch over, but you can't have the games be like equal. They won't be equal in the end because the mechanics are different. So like you just basically, you can call it a cross-chain game, but anyone who plays on the like disadvantaged chain is just throwing away more money. So like it's kind of marketing more than anything, and it's actually like bad. Like it's negative for the users because you're basically encouraging ETH people to spend more money than EOS people. So I didn't know this game also shipped to Tron as well, but I don't understand. I haven't looked into enough. Maybe I'm wrong about some of these things, but like you can't sell items on two different chains and have them do the same things and interact with each other because one person's paying more to interact. So I don't know if it's just like the same game is released on two systems. I don't think that's the case.
I mean, there's similarities there to when a same game is released on two systems in the traditional game market. It is often the case that features are sacrificed on one version and it's vastly inferior on one console compared to others.
Yeah, that's just the nature of cross-platform, right? So a lot of times they'll sacrifice features to make sure people can play against each other. But in this game, like the entire system works differently. Like it's not just a case of you're holding a controller and looking at a screen. So those controllers with about the same amount of buttons have to do the same thing. It's like putting mouse and keyboard players against controller players and calling it fair. The mouse and keyboard player will dominate you every time because they have more control. They have more options. Ooh, that's a really good analogy. I like it.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's analogous to problems that already exist in the traditional game world. Another thing I just realized, and that I hadn't thought before until you started talking about it now, I guess it's true that a lot of the games that are on multiple platforms have chosen to wall them. Like, for example, if you play CoinDroids, I play on the Litecoin ecosystem.
Yeah.
I cannot fight any Doge droids, and vice versa. They're walled to each other.
So you don't play on the Doge system, is what you're saying?
Oh, that hurts your feelings, doesn't it?
Just a little bit, just a little.
Well, I don't know. When I started, they didn't have Doge yet. I think
Oh,
that was
okay.
the reason.
That's super acceptable then.
And I didn't want to get rid of my Litecoin bot.
Yeah.
So,
So in this case, Xerox Warriors, one of their top listed partners is EOS. So you have to assume like they got the EOS Dev Fund, right? And they do have plans on the Tron pre-sale is I guess started, and the Ethereum will happen soon too. But like clearly, this game is going to show EOS as being the better chain because when you compare EOS to Tron and Ethereum, like paying maybe EOS and Tron will both free transactions or someone else pays, not free. It's always someone's always got to pay. Whereas Ethereum user pays. So this is just going to make Ethereum look like an inferior system when
I
it's
will
just a
still
different
refuse
system.
to play on EOS.
I played that other dumb EOS Knights.
Oh,
This game literally looks like it's kind of based off EOS Knights. Yeah, it did look like it was kind of based off EOS Knights when I first looked at it. I don't know now. It's been about a month and a half since I looked at this because I looked at it when it first got announced because I was always so active in the Xerox, the other Xerox Universe chat. And where's the team is this guy's? I think it's this guy. He's good. He's a good community guy. I think it's him, or maybe someone else. But there was always the devs were definitely active in the Discord and would always like if you were more active in the community, the people would like message you and they're like, hey, what can we do better? Like what don't you like? You know, and that's really good to it's really good to see like proactively like seeking out that information. Try
true
and
that.
improve. A lot of them just keep going and like, okay, we're the best and we know what we're doing. So clearly, whatever your opinions are don't matter because I'm making the game, not you, right? So they definitely this team does not take that attitude. And like I would still say the Xerox Universe was one of at least for me it was one of my top games, but it was one of the top games of 2018. You know, it was original. You know, it used its own mechanics. They never open sourced anything. And there was a couple of decisions they made in design that were a little weird, but they had good reasons to make them. One example is when you had something up for auction and your auction ended, if you wanted to spend the resources on that item or on the planet, you had to remove it from the auction house to your own account first. But that was all built into one transaction. So like when you do a transaction that uses resources from like 10 planets that previously were up for sale that ran out, all of a sudden, like you need to pay a bajillion gas because you're transferring 7 tokens to yourself from another contract. Then you're changing the resource stats on all those tokens. And like I just don't like not being able to know how much my transaction is going to cost. And when I saw that happen, I was like, I saw it on the blockchain happen, not in the UI. And the dev was like, well, do you want to do 20 transactions or one? And I was like, I get it. Personally, I would rather do 20 because it's the same gas costs and I want to be able to decide when I spend what. But at the same time, like that's not suitable for most users who when they want to sell a planet, they want to sell a planet. When they want to build something, they want to build something. They're not like, oh man, why did the gas cost 10% more? I should look into that. They won't even notice it, right? Whereas I'm like, where'd my gas money go?
Well, so we've been going on for an hour now. I guess there's one more item we could talk about. Orbiter.
Orbiter. Okay, I was gonna say, is that my list? What's that?
Oh, 2 more items. Sorry. We'll check out Orbiter first.
Yeah, I can pull it up right now. Orbiter. Let's see, oh man, I'm about to get reminded that MetaMask is changed.
Sorry, bro.
Sorry, man. I gotta tweet at them right after this and be like, why? Why again? Stop changing my stuff. Choose your handle. Doge. Goes in. Commit your transaction, then refresh. Oh, really? Yeah. There's no prompt for a transaction. Choose your handle. Doge. Play. Goes in. Commit your transaction. It's not prompting me for the transaction.
Press that refresh button link thing.
No, it says commit your transaction, then refresh. So it's going to say the same thing again. Well, so it's supposed to prompt me for like a zero cost transaction. When I type in this, it should really be prompting me. That's okay. Blockchain Games are really new. This is a new game. I feel like we'll come back at it next week and they'll have fixed this problem.
This is a very, very new demo of a game he posted.
I'm going to blame MetaMask.
I'm
going to say MetaMask changes. The changes to MetaMask made this not work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
screw you, MetaMask.
Yeah. Well, you guys are nice, but at the same time, screw you for making changes.
Yeah,
Once
we
something
hate
works,
change.
it's like I want it to work and not visually change when I'm logged out of my computer. Like it's just such a crazy concept. Like that, a lot of the I think Ethereum crowd doesn't have the same respect for blockchain mechanics as those have been around for like a long time when there was only Bitcoin. Like it's just like you have to show people their whole address. You can't change things on people. Like people need to make the changes themselves. Like they got to click the upgrade button. It's not like you shouldn't ever log into something and like, welcome, I'm the thing that holds your money. Now I look different. And all the buttons are moved and you don't have the same options as you did before. Welcome to the new experience. And I'm like, whoa, whoa, where's my money? I'm like, why would you do that? Like, where's my address? So yeah, that's just like a UI problem that people want to go different routes with. Sometimes people want to show users more, sometimes less. But for our last thing, I want to show off this list I found. It's from a Medium account called Future of Gaming. I don't know if it's I don't think it's an actual blockchain fully focused account. It might be, but they basically put together a list of the 50 quote unquote best blockchain games. Now it's hard to play 50 games. Of course, CryptoKitties makes it on top, and these are across Ethereum, Tron, and EOS. But one of the one of the one of the things about it is not all the games are complete and playable. You know, some of them are still like, you know, they call them the 50 best games. A lot of it was based on like most popular, most active, you know, like most development. So like if you haven't if you're looking for games to look through and like really get a wide browse of the community, I really recommend this list. It's from Future of Gaming on Medium, and it's called the 50 best blockchain games that came out this year. I don't agree that some of these were the best or that they're any good, but filling a list with 50 titles on it in this industry is not easy. So, you know, I learned a lot. I learned a lot of new games from this. I got no qualms with them calling 50 best games. It's an appropriate name, but yeah, don't be ready to throw money in all of these because they're like 50 good games. Just the 50 best on blockchain don't always mean very good.
Mm. Well, looks like a long read.
Yeah. I'm just scrolling through it, and it's a lot of like it's just a good place I would say to find new titles. So like Tron Goo is like a clear. I'm just going to assume it's a ripoff of Ether Goo, which is like an unsustainable Ponzi game.
Hooray!
Hey man, that's what blockchain's all about. Got the Ponzi's going on. Yeah, like even this, like Errors of My Crypto Heroes is on the list. We played that last week. They had really fun. The music in that game, it's a choice. 8-bit, great 8-bit music. My Ethereums are really old. It was one of the first card games, and I super respect it because the guy who makes it, I think his name in Discord is C Cashwell, like literally had no experience, and he like in this, and he was just gung ho to keep building, and like he pre-sold packs for a barely working game, but he was like started as a one-man team that was just like motivated and dedicated, and it's still a year later is like being developed and is actively playable. So like super respect for C Cashwell, who literally just was like, I'm gonna make a game, and then did.
Good job.
Yeah, he didn't give up. Can't go another week without mentioning Gods Unchained. You know, if you have Etherbots parts, you got to make the bet that will we get our part swap for new cards 1 year after the announcement or before 1 year, because they keep delaying it. They're like, don't worry guys, in a month you can trade in your robot parts and you'll get some cards. And it's been like 8 months now, and we still haven't traded in our robot parts. Like the market reacted accordingly, and everyone bought all the robot parts when they made that announcement, and then everyone gave up hope, started selling them off again. But yeah, if you want to check out a good list, I recommend the top 50 blockchain games, and just you click through all of them, get a nice browse of what's going on across the 3 main chains that games are built on in this industry. It's definitely worth checking out. It's definitely a good way to kill an hour or two or more.
True that. Well, I guess that's most of our news for today.
Yeah.
We've been talking a while anyway, man.
Yeah. 1 hour is a usual good cutoff time for, I think, in general. If we can start getting a third person consistently on here, it makes it easier to go the hour and not have it just be us.
Yeah. All right. Stopping the broadcast. Good night, everybody.
All right.
Good
See you guys, everybody, next time. Come to our live meetup.
Yeah. CoinFest, and we'll be back again in 1 month for our next news broadcast. See you later, guys.